Hey guys, what's up? This is Easy Pictures to Draw. I'm Enrique, and I just thought I'd be, on camera now for kind of these question and answer things. I feel it's kind of more personable, and it's better to kind of like understand by, hearing me talk about it as opposed to like seeing a piece of paper and just kind of, hearing a voice. You guys already know my background. This channel is going to be entirely dedicated to caricatures and cute drawings. I've kind of made the decision only recently, but let's kind of talk about this really quick. And I've been getting this question a whole lot. What are the differences between doing a caricature gig or a party or a wedding, that kind of thing, and working in a theme park? You know what I mean? What are the pros and cons, and which ones should you do? You know what I mean? Ideally, you should do both, in my opinion. I'll answer that immediately. But let me talk a little bit quick about working in the theme park, because my background was in both. And I think if you do uh, theme parks, there's a really good chance that you do the out and about ones. Like I said, the weddings, kids parties, uh, you know, graduations. So with theme park caricatures, it doesn't pay that much, at least where I was. And I've said this before. I worked at SeaWorld San Diego about 5 years ago, roughly. I was there for roughly 4 years. It's great during the summer, but then it's horrible during the off season, which would be winter and things like that. So realistically, that's a summer job because that's when everybody's going out. That's when vacations are going on. That's where you're getting people from other countries and they want to try something new and they have the caricature. And the prices fluctuate based on which park you're in. But for me, it fluctuated between $15 a head to $30 a head that you could charge. The issue with that is that the company I worked for would take, I believe it would take 75% of all your earnings, because I guess they ran that company. You're working for a company. You're a contractor on that one. So it just kind of evens out to a normal job. And honestly, we used to call it the Mickey D's of our jobs, at least for the money. You know what I mean? It's just not good. I will say, like I said, there's more practice there than you'll ever get. You know what I mean? Because you're with other artists that have been doing it for years, and you learn through osmosis. You learn through like them teaching you the stuff. You build your confidence there. And like I said, sometimes there's lines, and then sometimes there isn't, because each person is buying their own personal, souvenir. And so sometimes you have a gap where you're sitting there for like 3 hours doing nothing. I'm sorry, you can't even sit. They didn't allow us to sit. You could only stand, right? That was such a dumb rule. You couldn't sketch to yourself. I remember one time, the longest, I stood there for 6 hours calling out to people, you know what I mean? And I never got anybody. It was a slow day. It was in the middle of like January, you know what I mean? Christmas just ended. So that would be doing caricatures in a theme park, at least that's my experience. I would not do that through the whole year if you're doing it. If you do, all the power to you. I was there through the year, and I mean, I regret it. I regret I regret through the seasons, you know what I mean? I would just be there for the summer and get out. And then go back next summer. So with that, there's doing the gigs. Gigs, that's what we call them. And that's basically where you go out to a wedding, you go to, like I said, a birthday party, or like I said, any event, graduation. I did a family reunion. That was great. And there's a little different because you're working for yourself. You have to find that job somehow, and then you can charge whatever you want. Our standard rate was $60 an hour, and usually a minimum of 2 hours. That would be very standard, at least here in the California area. It's very standard. Toward the end, when I could not stand it anymore, I just like sick of them. I would charge 100 and I think 120 an hour for like a minimum of 3 hours. You know what I mean? And so if somebody really wanted me, I would be like, sure, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't. I didn't like doing it at that point. You know what I mean? It was really for the money. I remember one of my friends made like $1,000, I think, in a day because he worked like 8 hours or something like that. Something crazy. You can make an obscene amount of money. The problem is those jobs are not frequent. We're talking about special occasions that you have to go out and find, and that requires you self-promoting. You know what I mean? I found a lot of my jobs on Craigslist, actually. I just put a few ads and people would answer pretty rapidly. It seems like people needed that a lot. But okay, the difference between that would be kind of the pressure is on you, because in the theme park you could have a line, but people are more patient. I don't know why, because they're in a place that's like made to entertain you, the theme park. But like at a wedding, you know what I mean? They pay you per hour. Whoever hired you is paying per hour. So the kind of customers, right? The people waiting in line, they're getting it for free. So what normally happens is they'll say, "Hey, the caricature guy's here," and nobody cares, right? Because they don't have any visual representation yet. You know, I don't have all my cartoons out. Some guys do, but and then I start drawing one, and then people start looking, and then I just look to the left. There's this huge line immediately. You know what I mean? And so the pressure's on you. So that'll kind of like it'll teach you to be good under pressure, though. You just have to be calm, be efficient, do what you need to do. Don't rush too much. You know what I mean? Maybe push it a little bit, and just kind of keep it moving, keep it moving. And you know, and people are drunk. I remember at a wedding, there's a bunch of older drunk people around you. They're kids party. Kids are like freaking like they're trying to see what you're doing, so they're like pushing on your elbow, and it's like you just kind of learn to kind of deal with that pressure, and it really strengthens your resolve for that kind of stuff. And it is entertaining. You're kind of the man. You're like everybody's laughing. It's fun and it's goofy. And there's like a tip jar that'll form out of nowhere. I remember several times that would happen. I'll just look to the left. There's like a cup somebody put out, and then there's like money in it. So you get all these tips in addition to what you're already getting. So like I said, sometimes it's super fun, super fun. Another issue I have is like little kids will not stop moving. You know what I mean? That was annoying. Also, and by the end of it, you'll get so tired. You're mentally drained by the end of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all. One last thing about that: when you're working at a party, people will always get mad when you leave, no matter when you leave. You know what I mean? It's like the end of your 2 or 3 hours. You're like, okay, time for me to go. That's all they paid me for. That person's gonna get pissed off. They always do. For me, at least, they always got mad, always. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I had to stop here, But anywho, those are the two differences. I encourage you to kind of explore both. If you want to be really well-rounded, I would definitely do both, especially the theme park. Like I said, just the summer, though. Just a summer theme park, do some gigs after that, learn to self-promote. And I think you can do this very regularly. I know some guys, some friends of mine, if you ever look at Court Jones, he was a friend of mine. That guy, he makes a really good career just self-promoting. Boom, 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 boom. He does these really, he just does gigs constantly. Anyways, that's about it. If you have any questions below, please comment. I want to answer every questions I have within Caricatures. And, if you do want to do it out there, like I said, drop me a line. You know what I mean? You can even drop me an email. My email's omegaman20@gmail.com. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it, and please share this video if you found it helpful, and press the like button. See ya.